Alexander the Great, a name that still commands respect and awe more than 2 millennia after his death. At just 20 years old, he inherited the throne of Macedonia, and in less than a decade, created one of the largest empires in human history. But was he truly great? Or was his legacy built on bloodshed and ambition? Join us as we explore the extraordinary life of Alexander the Great, his rise to power, the battles that made him a legend, his relationships, his brutal tactics, and his untimely death. This is the story of a man who sought to conquer the world. Born in 356 BC in the ancient city of Pella, Alexander was the son of King Philip II of Macedonia and Queen Olympias. From a young age, Alexander was taught to be a warrior and a leader. Under the tutelage of the famous philosopher Aristotle, Alexander gained not only military skills, but also a deep appreciation for philosophy, politics, and science. But his father, Philip II, was the true architect of Macedonia's rise. Philip conquered much of Greece and laid the foundations for the empire that Alexander would inherit. However, at the age of 20, following his father's assassination, Alexander was thrust into power. With Greece already under Macedonian control, Alexander set his eyes on a much larger prize, the mighty Persian Empire. In 334 BC, Alexander launched his invasion of Persia. The Persian Empire, under King Darius III, was the most powerful empire in the world at the time. But Alexander, fueled by ambition and confidence, believed that he could achieve the impossible. One of Alexander's most famous battles came at Gaugamela in 331 BC. Despite being outnumbered, Alexander's tactical genius led him to victory. Using a combination of swift cavalry attacks and bold, unexpected maneuvers, he shattered the Persian forces and forced Darius III to flee the battlefield. With the defeat of Darius, the Persian Empire was effectively his. This victory cemented Alexander's place in history as a military genius. But his ambitions didn't stop there. He wanted to push further to the ends of the known world. After his victory over Persia, Alexander marched into Egypt, where he was welcomed as a liberator. There he founded the city of Alexandria, which would become a beacon of culture and learning for centuries. Declared pharaoh, Alexander positioned himself not just as a conqueror, but as a ruler of diverse cultures. But Egypt was just another stepping stone on his grand conquest. Alexander's next goal was India. His army pushed east, battling harsh conditions and formidable enemies. In 326 BC, Alexander faced King Porus at the Battle of the Hydaspes in modern-day Pakistan. Despite the use of war elephants by the Indian army, Alexander emerged victorious, but the battle took a heavy toll on his men. Alexander's relentless ambition was wearing down his troops. After years of continuous warfare, his soldiers, exhausted and longing for home, refused to march further east. Reluctantly, Alexander turned back, but his empire stretched across 3 continents, covering much of the known world. While Alexander is celebrated for his military genius, his reign was also marked by extreme brutality. Cities that resisted him were destroyed, their populations slaughtered or sold into slavery. He executed those who opposed him, including friends and allies, as his paranoia grew. One of his darkest moments came when he killed Cletus, a close friend and general, in a drunken rage. As his conquests grew, so did his erratic behavior. The pressures of ruling a vast empire seemed to weigh heavily on him. His drinking and bouts of anger increased, leading to more violence, even within his inner circle. Alexander's personal life was as complex as his conquests. He married several women, including Roxana, a princess from the region of Bactria, in what many believe was a political move to secure alliances. But his relationship with his childhood companion Hephaestion was perhaps the most significant. Many historians believe that Alexander and Hephaestion shared a close, possibly romantic bond, as the two were inseparable in life and in battle. When Hephaestion died, Alexander was devastated. He ordered a massive funeral in his honor, a sign of the deep connection they shared. But his marriages, particularly to Roxana, were vital in ensuring the continuation of his legacy. In 323 BC, at the age of just 32, Alexander the Great died under mysterious circumstances in the city of Babylon. Was it fever, poisoning, or something else? Historians continue to debate the cause of his death. Some suggest that he succumbed to an illness, now perhaps typhoid or malaria, while others believe he may have been assassinated. His death sent shockwaves through the ancient world. With no clear heir, his empire quickly began to fragment. The generals who had once followed him loyally now turned on each other in a series of civil wars, known as the Wars of the Diadochi, fighting for control of the vast lands Alexander had conquered. Though Alexander's empire did not last long after his death, his legacy endured. His conquests spread Greek culture and ideas throughout the known world, creating what historians now call the Hellenistic era. Cities like Alexandria in Egypt became centers of learning and culture, blending Greek, Egyptian, Persian, and Indian influences. Alexander's vision of a united world, where cultures mixed and knowledge flourished, influenced generations to come. His military tactics are still studied by generals today, and his legacy as both a visionary leader and a ruthless conqueror continues to captivate historians. So, was Alexander truly great? His military achievements are undeniable, but his methods were often brutal, and his ambition led to the deaths of thousands. Some see him as a hero who spread knowledge and culture, while others view him as a tyrant whose thirst for power knew no bounds. What do you think? Was Alexander a visionary who changed the world for the better? Or was he a conqueror driven by selfish ambition? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more deep dives into the lives of history's most fascinating figures.